Hey guys, today we are going to learn how to wedge and make our first pinch pots. So I have a little bit of recycled clay that I'll give a little bit to each of you, and we're going to learn how to wedge it so that it's at a nice plastic consistency. Right now this clay, I'll just try and show you how to wedge right now, and you'll probably be able to see why it's a little bit difficult. See how it's already kind of cracking and there's it's not super smooth, so we're going to learn how to kind of soften this clay and get it to the right consistency in a fast way so that you guys can do the same. Because all of our recycled clay has been sitting here this summer and is not ideal. So start by just breaking it up into a bunch of smaller bits. And you don't have to be super controlled about this, so they should just be kind of just go with the flow with that. Guess I can fast forward through that bit too. Okay, cool. So I have all my pieces kind of broken up, and what I'm going to do is take a spray gun and spray down these pieces really well. Kind of fold them a little bit together, spray them down again. And then we're going to start to combine it together. So when we wedge, we're going to start wedging from this stage where all of them are kind of separate. Add a little more water if you start to feel some drier spots, and you can just spray your table just a little bit. Okay, so the motion we're going to use for wedging is we're going to use both hands, and we're going to be pushing in, and we're also going to be pushing down. But there's a pull and a push, and then this inward force. So we're going to rock the clay up towards us, and then we're going to kind of push in and down on the top half of the clay. So some of the clay should be back here under your heels, and then some up here. Avoid flattening it all the way and having your fingers flat like this. We want to keep it more in a ball. So just keep your hands right around it. So then I'm going to keep going. And then as I go, I'm going to just spray a little bit by little bit to kind of get that consistency the way that I want, so that it's relatively easy to move the clay. So see, I flipped it there. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to spray it a little more, because I really want this clay to be nice and soft and workable. Your tables won't move, and I don't want to do this on my table, so. So rock up, replace your hands, push down in the middle, rock up, replace your hands, push down in the middle. We're going to repeat that. You should see these little air bubbles popping in the front. You can kind of see them on mine. So I'm going to keep going until I'm not seeing those air bubbles or cracking in the clay. Okay, so we got our great consistency with our clay. I'm going to make one smaller ball, nice and round, and one a little bit bigger for our pinch pots for now. Okay, so to start a pinch pot, you can kind of wet your hand if you want to, or your thumb. And you're going to go ahead and hold it in your left hand or your right hand, depending on what hand you are, but hold it in one hand and the other one is the pinching hand. So it's not touching the table at all. So you're gonna put your thumb into the center, but you don't want to go all the way through. I always say some guy put a thumb in a plum pie and this is what he got. I don't know. So plum on your thumb. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start by pinching these fingers all the way down here at the bottom. Instead of on the side first, I want to get an even thickness way down here, because as I come up here, it's going to get taller and hard to reach. So we got to start with the bottom where we can reach it with thicker sides. So I'm going to pinch my thumb towards my fingers just a little bit, then I'm going to turn the ball of clay. So this is kind of my turning hand and this is my pinching hand. Pinch, turn, pinch, turn, pinch, turn. This is where if you have long nails, it's kind of difficult, girls, because your thumb's way down in here, and if you have long nail, you're going to poke through the bottom of your clay. So good luck. Pinch, turn, pinch, turn. And as I'm pinching and I'm turning, I'm kind of starting to move from the bottom of the ball over to the sides, and my thumb is also continuing to pinch, but now a little towards the sides, little by little. If I pinch too hard in one spot, of course, it's going to be more uneven. Pinch, turn, pinch, turn, pinch, turn. If your hands are getting a little dry, you can just take your water gun one time. Pinch, turn, pinch, turn. You can take your thumb and just blend some of those cracks together that kind of start to come at the top of the pinch pot. Go back and feel the rest and feel for an even thickness. So if we start with a ball, we're going to get a relatively shallow and wide pinch pot, so potentially like a perfect half of a circle. So we can make this half and then another half and put them together like that to make a ball, but a hollow ball. Well, to store it, we're going to go ahead and just set it upside down, and then I'm going to do one more real quick for you. Okay, so I have my friend here who's never made a pinch pot before, and we're going to do it together this time. So maybe you'll see how it's like when you're not experienced like I am. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to just take your thumb and poke it into the center of the ball, but don't go all the way through, kind of down into it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know you got nails.
Down into it.
See, nails for you ladies, so you can do this.
Carrie, just
See,
believe
look
in
how
me.
down it is. Look how down farther it is. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start pinching on the bottom first, right? So we're pinching like the tip of our thumb to our fingers, and we're turning it with our other hand. So pinch, turn, pinch, turn, pinch, turn, pinch, turn. We're trying to like pinch lightly. Just, you're alright. We're just trying to pinch lightly. We don't want to pinch it like all the way thin. Too thin too soon is not the jam. So we want to just like pinch little by little, and then spiral it around. And as you keep going, you're going to go up and up and up and up. We might fast forward this part, but we'll see. Cool. Then you just can kind of go down and see where if you have any like uneven spots, you can kind of pinch those a little more or whatever. And
pinch more.
Cool. Good.
Wow.
How are you doing? Let's see it. Okay, look at the inside. You can see where her nail kind of hit a little bit, but here we go. This is a good start, right? If that's your first pinch spot ever, you'll definitely live. Thanks, Tiffany. Awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little score and slip action. So, remember how before when you were making your sculptures, you, when you attach two things together, just kind of put them together, let the clay stick them together. But like now, these two have stiffened up a bit, but they're definitely not dry. But they won't stick together if I push them together. Like, even this little thing won't really stick. I mean, it sticks for a second, but I can easily just take it off. So we have to learn how to attach clay. So we're going to go ahead and attach the 1 to the 2 right here at the bottom just for the first one so you can see what it's like. So the technique is called score and slip. The first thing you're going to do is score the surface. So scoring means that you're making these lines, these hash lines, and you're going like both ways so that they're like deep into the surface so that when you slip it together it can really get both sides. You can also use your serrated rib for scoring. So you can do the needle tool way or the serrated rib. Okay, so we have some slip here already that I made to the side here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put some slip on where I scored on both sides. There's scoring on both sides. I can put slip just on one side. I always like to say like frosting, not like butter. So I'm going to go ahead and take this piece of clay that I'm going to attach and I'm going to push it down to connect it to where I'm scoring it together. And you should see the slip coming out the edges like it is here. That's like what you want to see. If there's no slip there, you probably didn't put enough slip. Okay, so you can take either your needle tool, or you can take your needle tool and clean it up. We also have like a rubber tipped tool that looks like this that you can use. You can also use like your finger or a sponge. Now that's really attached together, it's not going to come apart so easily. But I'm also going to like attach a few more things so you can see score and slip like a few more times. So I'm going to attach these two little circle pieces to either side of this. Kind of like ears. Stick these on. And like I said, again, you can see the slip kind of coming out the sides. You can clean it off with your finger or your tool. Is it still recording, Tim? I'm gonna go ahead and let that set up like that, but I could also attach some weird stuff like this if I wanted to, but I'd have to score and slip.